Michael Gove has become the first cabinet minister to lend Boris Johnson some support in the row over his insistence that the UK would take back control of £350 million a week from Brussels to spend more on the NHS. Gove, who led the Vote Leave campaign with Johnson, broke cover on Monday with two tweets tentatively supporting the Foreign Secretary's case. The UK sends the EU £350 million a week. Show hide the claim that Britain sends the EU £350 million a week is wrong because the rebate negotiated by Margaret Thatcher is removed before anything is paid to Brussels. In 2014, this meant Britain actually sent £276 million a week to Brussels. In 2016, the figure was £252 million. Slightly less than half that sum. The money that Britain does send to the EU either comes back to the UK to be spent mainly on agriculture, regional aid, research and community projects, or gets counted towards the country's international aid target. Regardless of how much the UK saves by leaving the EU, the claim that a future government would be able to spend it on the NHS is highly misleading because it assumes the government would choose to spend on the NHS the money it currently gets back from the EU, £115 million a week in 2014, thus cutting funding for agriculture, regional development and research by that amount. It assumes the UK economy will not be adversely affected by Brexit, which many economists doubt. Was this helpful? Thank you for your feedback. In the debate on EU contributions, it's important people look at what Boris actually wrote in his Telegraph article, not headlines. He tweeted, "Debate should be forward-looking on how to make most of life outside EU, not refighting referendum." The headline of the Telegraph article read, "Boris, yes, we will take £350 million back for the NHS." The article itself was slightly more carefully worded, stopping short of pledging the whole amount to the NHS, in contrast with the Vote Leave campaign which suggested, "We send £350 million a week to the EU. Let's fund our NHS instead." Johnson had been left isolated since writing the 4,000-word piece for Saturday's Telegraph arguing for a more optimistic Brexit, which was interpreted as a direct challenge to the Prime Minister's authority. Amber Rudd, the Home Secretary, accused him of backseat driving, while Sir David Norgrove, chair of the UK Statistics Authority, said reviving Vote Leave's claims that the UK pays £350 million a week to Brussels was a misuse of official statistics.